This week has been pretty good in terms of writing for the November writing challenge. However, there are some things I would like to change for next week so that I can actually hit all my goals, not just a few of them. But first, let me just give you a breakdown of how this week went, and then let's take some time together and plan out next week so that we can all have a good writing week. Also, if you didn't know, I'm currently working on draft 2 of my adult sapphic gothic novel where the romance is minimal yet very important. Okay, so the first 5 days actually went pretty well, and I think they were pretty typical. Day 1, I wrote the most, and each day I wrote a little bit less. I didn't really have a writing schedule or a solid writing plan. I just knew I wanted to write at least a chapter a day, which I was on pace until I got to about day 5, where I didn't completely finish chapter 5, but that was okay. There's 27 chapters I want to write, 30 days in the month. I can afford to be a little behind every once in a while. But then day 6 happened, and that's where things really took a turn. It was my birthday, and I had the day off work. So I was at my utmost laziest. I didn't do any writing, I was just kind of laying around. And then I started to get ready to go out with my partner for my birthday, do some shopping, eat some really good food. And I thought when I come home, I'll definitely get some writing in. But that did not happen. I ended up getting a standing desk that my mom ordered for me for my birthday, which was really awesome. I've been wanting one for the past few years. But that means instead of writing, I spent the evening cleaning, and then my partner put together the desk for me, and I helped out a bit, and then after that we were just tired and so went to bed. It's November 7th, and I just finished writing chapter 5, which means I am a little bit behind my writing goal for the week of writing one chapter a day. And instead of pushing myself to write more today, I'm actually going to start setting myself up for next week. So I'm going to hop into Notion and make a writing schedule for next week. So if you're also a little bit behind, let's go and make a schedule together so we can hit those goals. So I'm just going to jump into Notion, and I just have this really simple page from the November writing challenge I'm doing. And we're starting off with week 2. I think the most important thing to do is figure out when we actually have time to write. And I want to point out, you don't need to figure out all your free time and then use all that free time to actually write. My goal is to spend maybe 40 to 50% of my free time writing. That way I'm still able to enjoy the rest of my day. So I know I have a full hour before work that I'm awake. So instead of writing for that full hour, I want to write for about 30 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. So maybe I can start writing at 5:30 and finish at 5:50. See, Tuesday to Saturday. And then I usually have another 4 hour window before my partner comes home and we have dinner. But again, I'm not going to use all 4 hours to write. I might just do two. So I'll do 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also Tuesday to Saturday. And I'm not going to do any more than that. If I do find more time during my day to write, that's awesome, but I'm not going to plan for that time. That's just going to be bonus writing time. But I want to stick to these amounts of time every Tuesday to Saturday. And this gives me about 2.5, 2 hours, 20 minutes of writing every day. And that's way more than I was doing last week. So I feel really confident with this. The next thing I think would be important is to have some kind of outline for what you plan on writing, and this does not need to be detailed, but I know I plan on writing chapters 6 to 14 this week, or at least 6 to 12 if I just want to stick to writing 7 chapters. And then I'm not going to outline what I want to happen in every single chapter, but I will outline what I want to do for the chapters I plan on writing today and tomorrow. So let's say I want to write chapter 6 today. I'm just going to do a really quick 1 sentence to 2 sentence summary of what should happen in that chapter. That way, once I actually start writing, it's so much easier for me to come up with an idea, especially if you're following something where there are multiple chapters in one section. It's helpful to know what each chapter in a particular section is about. For example, in the setup phase, I have about 2 chapters that I want to write. However, I just have a general description of the setup. So this is where I want to be more specific so I can differentiate chapters 6 and 7. Yeah, so as you can see, I just kept it really simple. I'm not showing what's happening in these chapters because I don't want it to be spoilers, but you can tell I just wrote 1 to 2 sentences for each of these. It really just took a few seconds, but you can give yourself even more time if you want to really dive deeper into the chapters, but outlining does not need to be something that is super complex or takes a lot of your time. It can just be something you start and do a little bit of so that you have a better plan for the week. And I've already outlined my entire book in terms of what happens in each major section. So doing this was really easy. But when I say I outlined my entire book, I mean each section only had like 1 to 4 sentence summary of what was going to happen, and I like actually diving into the writing process and then coming up with more ideas so I can get more specific. So maybe that's something that can help you if you're not really into outlining, but you realize you might need to have a little bit more of a plan in order to hit those writing goals. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have or have not met your writing goals for the week, that's okay. But share in the comments down below what your big goals are for next week.